Danny Marino from the Agonist here, doing a series for Napalm called Napalm Next Door, where artists show where they live and what they do when they're off tour, and also what we're doing during this whole quarantine. So this is my house. My wife and I bought this about a year and a half ago, and I'm learning a whole lot about home ownership. As you can see, the cat mat, the first cat thing you will see of many cat things, including cats. So yeah, this is where we watch TV, hang out. My wife is obsessed with plants. She's got lots of very nice plants. At first I thought it was crazy, but now I really like it. I really love how we get lots of light through this big window. Try to leave that open as much as possible. We have a fireplace included with the house, which is pretty cool. Technically in Montreal you can't have real fireplaces, but this one's eco-friendly, so we can actually use it. Minnie. Minnie is, I think, the cutest cat in the world. And maybe that's like me seeing her through dad eyes. But she's just pure love all the time. She loves all humans. She loves pretty much everyone. She gets along easy with everyone. She just wants to snuggle and eat and sleep all day long. And she's also 13 years old. And she pretty much does this about 16 hours a day. Usually she does it on my face. This was our dining room table. It is now my wife's office space. COVID-19, work from home, all that. So this has become the office. And if we move over here, this is my vinyl collection. Not as big as some people, but I think I have some cool stuff. I got a vintage 70s amplifier from my father-in-law, actually. Try to go for that real tube warm sound and all that when listening to vinyls. I thought it was pretty cool. Above here, we actually have all the Agonist last 4 vinyls. Actually, the only Agonist vinyls, because only the latest 3 albums were put out on vinyl. I have Providence, 5, Orphan. So I'm not going to go through all of it, just show you a little sampling of what I have. I have a lot of classic stuff. I guess on vinyl you want to hear more the classic tone or whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of Bowie, Crosby, Stills, Nash, AC/DC, there's a bunch of those. Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Empire Strikes Back, theme of Star Wars, Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. Pretty much this is the first Ozzy album I heard, and pretty much on repeat when I was young. Fleetwood Mac, Johnny Cash, and there's a lot more classic stuff like that. On a more modern, semi-modern metal, I got the latest Gojira, Magma, sounds great on vinyl. Blackwater Park, arguably greatest Opeth album. Fight Me. Death Angel, this was from the tour we did with Death Angel with Devil Driver, and they signed it for me at the end, which is really cool. And unlike Death Angel, Death, which I think is one of the coolest albums visually and sonically, very inspirational. Now we're going to go to the kitchen. Revival. This kitchen was actually an addition on the house, we learned, which is cool. Apparently the house before was just the other part that we were in. This whole section was an addition, and I'm really happy they did it because It's a really big open space. We haven't done anything with it yet, but we're thinking eventually we're going to redo the whole thing, so that'll be fun. It's got a lot of old cabin-like wood, just like the rest of the house, which we really like. Not that into the modern condo look and all that. Definitely like the cottage or chalet, as they call it, in Quebec look. Again, big windows, lots of light. I love that. Let's check out the outside. Not you, but so this is our exterior, soon-to-be deck. Eventually, build the deck, but for now, we have this great space to hang out in. Lots of trees, open space, grass. I've never had this kind of thing before, so I'm really enjoying having this space to hang out in when it's for relaxing or just having it. Now it's summer, it's really helpful with this whole quarantine. Having an outdoor space is really crucial. Doing a lot of barbecue out here, hanging out. Have a hammock, which was a very nice gift from the in-laws. Been taking advantage of that. Getting a nice craft brew sitting there while the sun sets. Definitely a way to take a load off at the end of the day. Right now we're off to my friend Pavlo and Andrea's house because they invited us to a barbecue. I'm pretty excited because it's only a couple times that we've seen humans since the quarantine started in March. Also bonus, Pavlo is the owner of PHG guitars, which I use along with Agonist, and he's going to do a little tune-up for one of my guitars, so off we go. Just made a stop at our local bottle shop for craft beer. Picked up a lot of goodies here. Some local awesome IPAs like Lagabier and Nord-Est, and a lot of other awesome goodies to bring to the barbecue. This is one of my favorites, this old school kitty, West Coast IPA, very delicious. So we're stocked, we're ready to go to the BBQ. Hello, sir.
Hey, sir. What do we got today?
So it needs a tune-up. It's been a few years since we set this guy up. Welcome! This is my little home studio. This is where I do all my writing. It's also sometimes just for fun to hang out down here, have my own little space. These are my guitars. These are my babies. Every guitar here has a very specific purpose. I find certain guitars I write certain kinds of music well with. They obviously sound a little different, so they inspire different kinds of music. This is the Agonist Destroyer, classic metal. You end up writing a lot of riffs on there that sound maybe like Iron Maiden, maybe just regular riffs metal. This is the Ibanez RG Prestige. This guitar was actually handed down to me from my sister-in-law, who doesn't play guitar anymore, but believe it or not, it's actually an amazing guitar. I've been using this more than any other guitar right now with the new stuff that I'm writing for the Agonist. Ibanez FR. I have 3 of those. This is the one I use at home. The 2 that are in my jam space are for touring. It's my main guitar, it's my go-to. Most people play the RGs live. I'm a big fan of the FR because I love Fender Telecasters. And speaking of Fender, that is Fender Stratocaster. This is my first ever electric guitar. My family got it for me when I was 14 years old. This is pretty much how I learned guitar. I souped it up with some American parts. It's a Mexican brand Stratocaster, but I put USA DiMarzio pickups and some other modifications, so it's pretty much like an American standard Strat. And that's the Ibanez Artcore. It's a jazz guitar. It's really beautiful for clean sounds, really full and warm sounding. I haven't actually played with it that much. I actually got that guitar in a trade for another guitar. So, and lastly, this is a custom build. My friend Pablo owns PHG Guitars, and I had him custom build this. Like I said, I love Telecasters, but I wanted a Telecaster that could also do metal and still switch back and be able to do the classic Telecaster sound at the same time. And down here is just about all the tour passes that I've had. I think there's 1 or 2 over the years that I lost, including the very first one. Our very first ever tour was with Sonata Arctica, and that's one of the passes I don't have, which is kind of really unfortunate. I won't go through it all, but we've got a lot of really cool things in here. We've got the Haunted, Ethica, Kitty, Flyleaf, Threat Signal, Cannibal Corpse, Devil Driver, Death Angel, Arsonists Get All the Girls, Attila, Danzig, Cryptopsy. The list goes on. Very thankful for all the experiences that I've been able to have with all those amazing inspirational bands. And it's important to me to hold on to those memories. I was actually working recently on some new stuff, and I was actually going to give you guys a sneak peek of it if you want, so check it out. That's it. So that's the tour. This is the Napalm Next Door with Danny from the Agonist. Hope you guys liked it. Now I'm gonna relax, as I said, in the hammock with a Maltstrom India Pale Lager and enjoy the rest of the evening. Cheers.